Welcome to the introductory part of my blog. I am a student, a freshman in the ULSPU University. It stands for Ulyanovsk State Pedagogical University. I am, however, not a teacher. I am planning to be a translator and a translation specialist. There's a specialization. It is different from bachelor's degree or magister's degree in case where it allows me to go working right after I finish my higher education. This degree was introduced during the Soviet era when there were a lot of specialists needed in different fields, and still stays today quite a bit the same, and basically allows people to immediately get a higher education and immediately afterwards go to work. They usually budget seats for that kind of degree, but obviously they are a bit limited because specializations are something that a lot of graduates crave. I mean, school graduates. Now, bachelor's degree exists, and they're still basically the same. The only difference is that in Russia, the higher education is partially free, and it depends on how you've done on the introductory exams to the university and on your R&E after you graduated from high school. So R&E stands for Russian National Exam, and basically you can choose between a lot of subjects. Obviously there are two subjects that you have to pass. They're increasing the amount every year or so to introduce more knowledge requirements for higher education facilities. So on R&E you can choose basically every subject you have on hand to pass an exam with, and depending on the points that you get in a result, you can apply to different universities. Obviously the general amount is important because the more prestigious the university is, the higher the general amount of all the points combined has to be. You can get you can get up to 100 points on every exam, but there's usually some math involved where on the actual exam you earn different points and then they transgress into R&E points, which actually matter. Not to say that the points in the exam not matter. They matter too. But the point is, you have to, first of all, you have to pass the general amount of points, and secondly, you have to have enough points of your major subject to enroll into a department or to enroll into a bachelor or specialist degree, and depending on again the specialization of that degree, you'll have to have enough points on said subject. So for example, right now it's 6 a.m. of 4th of June. I usually don't wake that early. I wake up at about 7:30 and lays about for half an hour. But today's a special day because because I have got a lot of work to do. I was kinda late with my term papers, and I have to write a report and a presentation for them as well. I also skipped federal testing, so I furthermore have less points than anyone else. Don't do that, by the way, if you are in Russia or in any other university. You shouldn't procrastinate up until you have to do everything in one day. So I woke up, originally I planned to wake up at 4, but I was able to wake up only at 6. So now I have about 6 hours of free time where I can get with my work. Yeah. So again, if you didn't know, this is a vlog about my student life at Ulyanovsk State Pedagogical University. I am currently earning a degree of a specialist there in translation and translation science as my major, and this is just about how I spend my day. Um, Not usually, because again, this is quite a special occasion right now because it's the end of the term and we have a lot of um, uh, a lot of other lessons that we. So right now, as you can see, I'm in my kitchen. I came here to make myself a snack because I'm finally done with lectures on health and safety classes. So here, for example, let's see about timetables. A bit, so you can see right here. Those are the usual timetables for lessons. They start at periods, not lessons. For periods, which start at 8:45 and last for an hour and a half. And there's a 5-minute stop. So, an interesting thing about the 5-minute break within this 1.5 hour is that usually it can become just a part of the period. So it all depends on the students and the teacher, the professor. First and foremost, it depends on the professor. So again, we can have, and sometimes we just go throughout the period without having to take a 5-minute break. And as you can see, I have got everything up until the. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's better. I've got everything up until the 4th period. I don't have a chart for the 5th period, but again, it goes by the same parallel. It's a 15-minute break between the periods, and then it just goes, a period with a break in the middle. That's kind of in 2 halves of 45. So again, as I said before, I'm done with lectures on health and safety. So I'll be continuing working on my English right now. So practice of written and spoken language. And afterwards, I think I'll finish my health and safety papers. So I'll have to pass through a little test before I can earn myself a mark on the health and safety lessons. Because unfortunately I've skipped quite a lot, partially due to illnesses, partially due to the fact that I was a volunteer at the movie festival, which is great, by the way. And about marks and just classes in general. Usually there are 2 terms within an academic year, which are called semesters, and each semester there are classes which require marks or exams. So usually, but anyway, I've just finished all of my work. I think, at least I made most of it. Didn't make stuff that was overboard. Anyways, you should get minimally enough points so that it allows you to get a C at least. Because if you get a C, then it means that you can skip the exam and just get the C in your grading papers. There's usually a point threshold that you have to achieve to get an automatic mark. You may not always achieve it, because usually there are again people that are competing, other students who also get the same tasks as you, and they may have basically well took it, right? In that case, you'll have to take a test, and then based on the points, you can get a mark or not. Additionally, professors usually provide students who have just not enough, so about 10, maybe 15 points, they're 10 or 15 points away from getting a mark. They may provide additional tasks for students like that, or they can provide multiple additional tasks for everyone in the group if they do not have enough confidence in themselves, if they don't know their points, or if they just want to get more things done. So yeah, basically that's it. Right now I'm planning on having a meal before I go to the university. It is 11 a.m. It's right now 20 minutes to 12, and in about half an hour I'll have to go to university. So I'm leaving the old building now, where we just had our written and spoken English practice. This is, by the way, how it looks. It's the old building of the ULSPU, which is now only for the Foreign Languages Department. And now we're headed towards the Lenin's Memorial, which is this building, right? And we are headed into this building on the right. This is the main building of the ULSPU. This is where all other students study, the students of physical mathematical department, the students of So, I have a free period right now, so I'm in the university's canteen. Unfortunately, the only canteen in the university is in the main building. There are no canteens in the old building, so we have to use a buffet. Here, there's a buffet and a canteen. Buffet is out there in the main hall, and this is where you can basically get prepared food. But see, here's the problem. It's quite small for a big university, so not a lot of people can eat here at the same time. As such, people usually go out to local cafes or small fast food restaurant chains. Maybe even bigger ones if they go towards Goncharov Street, to Burger King or McDonald's. But generally people prefer to eat either here, or they eat their own food that they have carefully prepared prior to going to the university. I for one, I'm probably gonna go out to I'd say Burger King and get a burger there, because I'm not a fan. So I'm standing in the middle
in the inner grounds of the old building. Um, this part actually takes place quite a long time after the last one, because we were suddenly called to be marked on our health and safety papers, even though we supposedly had to do that only on the next period. So now I've done basically everything I could. I'll still have to go through a test to get my mark, and well, apart from that, that was quite a pleasant day. I memorized my words and answered all of them correctly. 134 words. Then I got to film a bit in the main building, and finally I've done all of my debts on the health and safety classes. So I think